We're live.
Hi, everybody. We're live from Miami Realtors headquarters. Hi, Alex.
Hey, Teresa. How are you? Good
Great.
to see you, too. She beat us to the punch again. That's 2 weeks in a row. Good morning, or good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock.
It is.
My name is Alex Vidal. I am president of Related ISG International Realty, an outstanding member of the Miami Association of Realtors. And I'm also host of this little TV show you're watching right now called Inquiring Minds Want to Know. As I've done in the previous weeks, if you like what you hear, please like the video. Most importantly, share it. If you're a realtor watching today, you will need to share this message in this interview because it is vital to our future as realtors in the industry. And again,
so now the pressure is on.
The pressure's on.
The pressure is on.
And by the way, we did not coordinate the blue, but I figured if I was meeting with the person who was awarded CEO of the Year by BASF on Saturday night, I had to put my power tie on today.
That's perfect.
For Teresa. And again, I always start off with, if you want to work for the best brokerage in the business, who's connected to some of the most powerful people, not only in the industry, but in other industries, not only locally, but across the country, talk to us. Talk to Related ISG. Text me, email me, DM me. Let's do it. But we're sitting here with the CEO of the Year, Teresa Kinney. Teresa, thank you for joining us again.
It's my pleasure again.
Thank you for joining us. I wanted to do a part 2 because we had some issues with the first one. Even though we're doing completely different questions.
The issues were not with me.
No, there were technical difficulties. Now we have a mic, we have a light, we have
You're
really
uptown now. It's the whole different thing.
We're moving up in the
Yes.
world. So let's get to it. We have 6 questions for you, Teresa.
Ready.
Short and sweet. In our last interview, we did cover about what got you to where you are today. But how many years have you been at the helm of the Miami Association of Realtors?
25 years.
25 years at the helm. Now, if you were not the CEO of the Miami Association of Realtors, what would you be doing?
That's really a tough question because the Realtors associations and the members, really kind of have been my professional life for 46 years now. If I weren't here with the Miami Association, I would have obviously accepted another position, and I would have probably not been there nearly as long as I've been here. And I would have continued on the path that I had started of speaking and writing and consulting. And I think that the fact that I did that helped me to get this amazing position. And being here in Miami and with the leaders that we have here in the association helped us to reinvent ourselves every year. So if I had to do the same thing every day, I would go crazy. But with the Miami Association of Realtors and our members, there's always something new, always something different, energizing, exciting, and I'm here for the long haul, obviously.
Yeah, that's right. And you talk about your leadership, the many leadership that you have within the Miami Association. Many of them work for us, many of them obviously work for other brokerages, and I must say you have done a phenomenal job of picking outstanding people to lead and help you leading our association.
I like to take credit for that, but I don't choose them. And so I help to nurture people and to help guide them and coach them, but all of the leaders are chosen by individual nominating committees. So we have 6 leadership boards, 6 nominating committees every single year.
Yeah. Now, in your path to where we are today as CEO of the Miami Association of Realtors, is there a moment or a person that you would say played a big impact on your career, and what can our viewers learn from that? I love this answer, by the way.
Actually, I told Alex that's a tough question because there is no one moment and no one person who has made the biggest impact in my career and my career choices. It's been a lot of people and a lot of different moments. And my suggestion to everyone is to take those chances. So when they first asked if I would like to speak at the National Association level, I said yes. Did I know what I was doing? No. Was it my best performance ever? No. But I learned from that and from every single time that somebody records a program that we're doing or a speech that I've given, and I force myself to go back and listen to it because we learn from ourselves, we learn from others, and I learned from almost everyone that I've come in touch with, in contact with throughout all of the years. And the moments that I take advantage of are the ones who helped me to get here. The ones that I didn't take advantage of are lost forever. And so I just want to tell you, take those chances, take advantage of those moments, and learn from everyone you come in contact with.
It's funny, you talk about, everybody talks about mentors or teachers, and I try to share with our agents, everyone that you encounter is a teacher, because they'll either teach you what to do or what not to do, but everybody teaches you something. What I got most about her answer when we were preparing for this was that there was no one moment, there was no one person that made that impact. There was a lot of people that I encountered say, I'm just waiting for the big break, or I'm just waiting to meet the right person. Don't wait. As you can see, she did not become the CEO of the Miami Association of Realtors on waiting. She went out there and got it. Now,
yes,
let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about the wonderful and amazing city that we live in, which is Miami in South Florida. I think there's probably, in my opinion, there are 3 people that know Miami better than anyone else. And those 3 people are Craig Studnicki, the owner of ISG, Alicia Severa, the owner of Severa Real Estate, and you.
Wow.
If there's one thing, and I've asked this question, and I'm going to continually ask this question to anybody who's involved in South Florida real estate because they need to know. If there's one thing that every realtor that's watching this needs to include in their elevator pitch to their clients about Miami and South Florida, what would it be?
That Miami is unlike any other place in the entire world. Miami is so unique. It is so amazing, but yet it's so personal. And so Miami is whatever you want it to be. When you're talking to someone who's thinking about relocating to Miami and you find out what it is they want, Miami offers that. When we exhibit worldwide, we've often used the tag Miami, a lifestyle like no other. And we really believe that from the core. And, to some people, it's Miami is the biggest small town in the world.
Miami is the biggest small town in the world.
It is. And what I learned when I came here is people ask, what school did you go to? Mm-hmm. In some circles, that means college or university. In Miami, it means what high school.
Absolutely.
And as soon as you find out what high school, then there's all of that, mm-hmm. rivalry and camaraderie that goes on. And it never fails to crack me up. Yet, on the other hand, Miami is the largest international population of any marketplace in the entire United States. And that's what makes us so crazy wonderful. So it's warm and accepting and inviting, and it has all the different cultures that come together to make Miami who we are. So whatever it is you want from Miami, it's here. Just take advantage of it.
Build that into your elevator pitch. I love that answer. Now, let's switch gears again outside of Miami. Let's just talk about the real estate profession as a whole. For the past few years, we keep hearing that our days are numbered as realtors. I tend to disagree with that, but our days are numbered as realtors, supposedly. But we continue to be the center of the transaction. For the realtors that are watching right now, what advice can you give us to ensure that our industry continues to thrive for the decades to come? Because I'm only 40. I want to be in this business a really long time. So what can we do to protect my future and the realtors' futures that are watching?
Well, you just need to put in perspective when people tell you that, because, for example, when your value was felt to be that you controlled all of the data, and that really was not your value. It was something that you could offer. But when we were the first large association in the nation to put all of our listings up on the web, on Realtor.com, and that was a tough decision for leaders to make, because that was putting everything out there that was perceived to be your true value. And what it did is it opened up to so many more sales, so many more markets, so much better productivity for everybody, because people could go in and kind of identify what they liked and what they didn't like. So it saved realtors so much time in going and showing all those properties. It just goes on to every single next step that we've had throughout all of the 25 years I've been here in Miami, and even before that. And that is, your value is you. Your value is you and what you have to offer to consumers. And so I've had a license in Missouri and in Florida, and yet I've used a realtor for every single transaction we've done, not only because I represent realtors, but because I believe in you and I believe in what you bring to the transaction. And I see some of the testimonials that you all post from buyers and sellers that you've worked with, and you just can't get that anywhere else than working with a true top professional. So as long as you remain relevant to the transaction, to the consumers, to your buyers and sellers, and you continue to add value, and you figure out new ways every day and every week to add value because that's who you are, then you are going to be relevant, you are going to be here, and you have a long career ahead of you, Alex.
Good. And I always try to tell people, they're never going to be able to design an app that can be an app that's you.
No, I'm looking for the Alex app, but I haven't seen
I haven't seen it either.
I don't think it...
And ultimately, I try to share with people, technology is definitely going to help us continue to be even more efficient.
Absolutely.
Someone told me the other day, I was in Tampa with a friend, he's like, well, soon enough, I'm going to be able to look at homes through virtual tours and walk the home from my own living room. I go, you're right. But when you're about to drop $500,000 or $1 million, aren't you going to want to go look at that actual home in person? So yeah, we'll look at 10 or 12 or 15 homes through virtual reality at some point. But one day you're still going to get in my car and want to go look at it with your own eyes. Anyways, now you are one of the most powerful women in real estate that I know. You are one of the most powerful women I know in general, in any profession. And we have a lot of women viewers for the show. If there's any advice that you can share with our audience about what it takes to become a woman power player, what would it be? And I know this is near and dear to your heart. And you participated with Bethany this weekend.
I did. She did a great job. Bethany Martinez, Females for Profit this weekend. She did an incredible job. Very proud of her. One of our YPN leaders.
Yes, we're proud of her as well. Fellow related ISG realtor.
That's right. So it's not only being about female, and the power is within you. It's not given to you. It's something that you have to like yourself first, and you have to be comfortable with who you are, and you have to do what we said. You have to learn from absolutely everybody. And Alex hit the nail on the head. Some of the people we learn from are the how not to do things, but that can be just as valuable as the ones we learn from as to how to do it, and then make it your own. And the first thing is to be genuine, to be who you are. And to just continue to make who you are into the person that you ultimately want to be. And I always say here with the association and with us and the execs here at the Miami Association, we don't know what we're going to be when we grow up, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. And so that's the whole thing, is we're always growing and developing, and the power part of it is you never know what you're going to say yes to, who you're going to meet, who you're going to learn from, and that's where the power comes from. The power comes from other people and figuring out what we can do to help realtors to be successful, and to making connections and partnerships and figuring out more ways to position Miami realtors, in front of the world.
Got it.
And so it's, again, take advantage of every opportunity that you have. Don't overload yourself, but find the best opportunities for you. But don't ever say no because you're not comfortable with it, because you forced yourself to become comfortable with it. And before you know it, you look at yourself and you go, wow, that's me.
That's awesome. Now, it's funny, the word comfort. I used to race triathlons before CrossFit, and I was buying my first real triathlon bike from a buddy of mine that used to do Ironmans all the time, a guy named Nate. And he goes, Alex, I'm going to give you one piece of advice. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Little did I know how that would apply to me, not only in racing, but in my professional career as well. Last question and we're done.
I'm sorry, one thing I forgot that is most important in my career, and my number one advice to everyone is to be comfortable with public speaking. And the way you do that is to speak. Speak every time you have a chance. But when you speak, you must talk with the audience. Don't talk to them, don't talk at them. It doesn't have to be a prepared speech. It can be coming from your heart. But you learn from every time you do that. And every time you do it, you get better. And if you don't have butterflies in your stomach before you go out to do a speech or a program, then you're not probably doing it right. Maybe you're a little too comfortable with it, because it's those butterflies that help the adrenaline, that help, the excitement. But you always begin with the end in mind. And in this particular case, it's how can you spend the audience's time well? How can you help them to be better at what they want, to know more about what it is that they wanted? And so as long as you begin with your audience in mind and just talk with them, it's a conversation, you'll find out that you get better and better and better all the time. That's the number one key to success in your career, whatever your career happens to be.
Become a public speaker. I still get nervous. I get nervous before all of these interviews. I do. I get nervous. The camera.
That's how you get the energy going,
Yeah.
Alex.
I've been told, I'm trying to learn on who to like really turn the gear on and who to be more calm and cool and collected. That's an art in and of itself. Because within myself, I'm ready to go.
You're pumped.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Last question, and we'll be ready to go. Is there any book or podcast or TED Talk recommendation that you have for the audience?
Yeah, there are lots of books and podcasts and everything out there, and I learn something from every one of them. I don't read as much as I used to, but it's always business books and self-help books and so forth. But I kind of lean back to one that I read many, many, many years ago, and it's a principle that I still live with today. And anyone who manages people or organizations or leads people or organizations, it's GMP, Greatest Management Principle in the World. And do you know what that is?
No, what is it?
If you're not getting the results you want, look at what you're rewarding. And every time you do that, you say...
If you don't get the results that you want, look at what you're rewarding.
That's right.
Okay.
So when I don't get the results that I want in a particular person or a particular department, then am I rewarding them for average performance instead of trying to help them get to extraordinary performance and recognizing and awarding that? When I recognize an entire department, does that kind of bring the department to a medium point level instead of recognizing the individuals who are the exceptional, extraordinary? So when you're not getting the results that you want, and I actually employed this with my son when he was growing up, because sometimes I would reward him for stuff that it's just because I'm a mom and I love him, whereas instead I needed to single out the things where he really stepped up to a new level. And those were the ones I started rewarding.
That's for the leaders, fellow leaders like myself. I'm quiet because I'm absorbing that because that's one of the most.
It's powerful.
It's one of the most powerful statements I have heard across any interview that we've done thus far.
That's why it stuck with me.
I already know I have a mentor. His name's Emmett Logan. I know he's watching. I already know I'm going to get an email within an hour from him. Alex, how do we employ this in the company? Teresa, we're done. Thank you so very much. If you any parting words before I go around and turn the camera off, go for it. It's all yours.
I think Alex, you're amazing. I think the series is wonderful. I've watched every single one of them and will continue to be a fan. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Teresa.